Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much, much more. I'm your host, Chris, and the MCU seems to have a massive secret. There's something going on. There's something that is building that is going to explode in all of our faces, and hopefully explode in a very exciting, wow, we didn't see that coming kind of way. And now I am 100% talking about the X-Men, or mutants, and the Fantastic Four in the MCU, which we all know was acquired by Disney and Marvel Studios for a whopping $1.84 billion. They also bought all of the Fox characters and the entirety of 21st Century Fox, so, you know, Family Guy and everything that goes with that. But these characters that were acquired from Fox, including Deadpool and all these characters you know and love, they have something brewing. There's a big secret storm happening in the MCU, and She-Hulk, the last episode that was just released last night, gave us even further evidence of this. So we're going to talk about the secret plans for the Fantastic Four, and certainly for the mutants in the MCU today. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the other major movie and television news updates happening daily here on the channel. You can also follow me on my other socials, Instagram at Chris M. Rosser and Twitter at TheCultureChris. Links to both of those are in the description down below. So, first off and out the bat, I am curious, and we've been talking about this for several years now, but what are you most excited for? And I'm talking to you individually. Are you more excited for the Fantastic Four, or are you more excited for mutants? This is just out of my own curiosity, since I have you guys here listening to the video. Do me a favor, drop down to the comments and just say, hey, I'm more excited for this for whatever reason, because I do want to know where you guys stand. It certainly seems like the majority of people are most excited for mutants, and why shouldn't you be? For over the last 20-25 years, we've gotten tons of X-Men movies from the Fox franchise, and some were better than others, some were truly terrible, and some of them were quite enjoyable. However, there is good exposure for those characters. Now, over the last 20-25 years, we've also gotten a couple Fantastic Four movies, and although many people really enjoyed the first Fantastic Four movie that came out, the second most recent one, not so much. But still, this is Marvel's first family, a family from the way back early days of the comic book lore for Marvel. And it is a group of people that have very high popularity, their comic books sold very well, and they are very well known. So now that we have these two big groups that are seemingly appearing in the MCU out of nowhere, the big question is, well, where have they been this whole time? How is Marvel going to explain this? This is Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, the king of continuity and cinematic universes, where everything and every detail need to make sense. And you can't just randomly have mutants show up with the explanation of, oh, we've been in hiding the whole time. So how is it that this team is going to be brewing, and where are they going to come from? Oh, and by the way, if you just pull them out of the multiverse, we're all going to call that super, super lame. If you go to a different universe, universe 179BQ7, and pull out a Wolverine and bring him over and say, hey, there are X-Men in the MCU now, us as fans, we're going to riot. Let's just be honest. We are that dedicated to the storyline and to good writing, and that is something that will just be super cheap. Now, during Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it was super exciting to see X-Men, Mr. Fantastic, and other characters who could exist in different facets throughout the multiverse and the entire opportunity in different universes. That was cool, but that can't be the reason or the explanation as to how we got all of these characters brought into the MCU. So what's the plan? And that's what brings me to the big hidden secret. Now we know a Fantastic Four movie is coming. It's been announced. It has a date. It's on Phase 6. It's one of the earlier projects. We even know we have a director for that film. Well, the second director. We've had one for a while. But Kevin Feige's been talking about the mutants and the Fantastic Four joining the MCU since 2019. And that was a huge, exciting thing then. And still, nothing's actually really happened. We have, however, had several Easter eggs, hints, rumors, leaks, things to talk about with these two groups. It goes back to the Spider-Man Far From Home film, where we got our very first Fantastic Four Easter egg, where they had construction of a building, and it was 1, 2, 3, can't wait to see what happens next, which of course is 4, and that was a big Fantastic Four Easter egg, and everybody was like, oh, the Avengers Tower is going to be turned into the Baxter Building. Well, nothing happened from that, and here we are still waiting for more. Here we are still waiting to get more Fantastic Four answers, and even more Fantastic Four Easter eggs. Today, we had in She-Hulk, which is a show that is heavily rumored to have The Thing, or Ben Grimm, appear in it. Now, I don't know that I personally believe we will be seeing that, because we didn't even get an update about the Fantastic Four cast during the D23 event. And if they were going to be showing us a character, they would have given us an updated cast. That's just my personal belief. I feel like that's how they're operating right now. It's kind of working through the lens of a telescope, and they want us to see what they're showing us. And they haven't talked about that because there's nothing to know yet. And that's okay. We're not going to get that. However, at the end of the last episode, we got a wall of shoes, which I'm sure you've heard about. Cosmic Wonder did a huge video on it. Several others have talked about it all over TikTok and Twitter. So I'm not breaking that news to you. But take into consideration the shoes that were there. The one Fantastic Four shoe, which was The Thing, and then several other X-Men mutant character shoes, which this isn't necessarily canon artwork in the MCU. Oh my gosh, look, they all exist, and I'm fine with that reality. However, this is more teasing. They've been teasing us with the Fantastic Four and the X-Men mutants more than they have with any other characters in a very long time, other than maybe Thanos, who was literally scattered across the Infinity Saga in all sorts of different post-credit scenes, and his name was dropped, and oh, he's this big feared villain, and they did build so well to him. Well, here they're doing very similar things with the X-Men and with the Fantastic Four. Now, I know that the arrival of these characters have high expectations to make a ton of money, which at the root of all of it is where these characters are mostly desired by Disney. Let's make a ton of money. But the people creating these movies, Kevin Feige, all of the directors brought in, the actors playing a lot of these roles, do love these characters, do love the story, and want to produce something amazing. So when will we see the X-Men? When will we see the Fantastic Four for the first time, and where are they coming from? There are many, many rumors going around, and a lot of insiders and YouTubers who believe that the entirety of phases 7, 8, and 9, the third saga in the entirety of the MCU, is going to be about the uprising of mutants. Maybe even a mutant versus human war. Maybe Magneto taking his half of the mutants and trying to create this mutant empire where they're at the top of it. And that's something that's very heavily seen in the comics. Professor X wants to live in harmony, and they want everybody to learn how to use their powers for the benefit of mankind. And Magneto feels like, well, we're these godlike beings, we shouldn't be hiding, and we should be out there ruling. And that would be a really cool, deep, and story-driven, detailed saga that I would be really excited to see happen. Now, with the Fantastic Four, I think they're going to have a little bit more of a role to play earlier on, and this is obvious, their movie's dropping out in Phase 6. But I would be surprised to see any real Phase 6 projects specifically directed by the X-Men, with their storyline, with, oh, here are mutants. I think we'll continue to get little Easter eggs, like we did with Ms. Marvel, where it was mentioned that she had a mutation, which, if you really wonder about it, is that even an Easter egg? You can argue that, oh, it was just a word. Of course it wasn't just a word. They used their words very carefully, and the use of the term mutation there was deliberate. So, another Easter egg here. She-Hulk dropping a couple Easter eggs. Maybe a mention. Maybe characters like Namor, who is in every understanding of his character in the comics, the first mutant, and definitely a mutant, won't be addressed as a mutant. But it's going to be very clear that he is. And these little types of Easter eggs are going to build a lot of excitement. And that's why I think that there's something out there. There's a secret out there. And I can't tell you what it is, because it's a secret. I don't know it. If I did, it wouldn't be a secret, I suppose, because I would tell everybody. And then, Disney would come after me, and Kevin Feige would put an end to my channel. But things have changed for Marvel since the Infinity Saga. Back when the Cosmic Wonder started his first channel, and I've worked very closely with him, there wasn't a million people doing all of these news and leaks and breakdowns and theories. There were a few videos here and there, people explaining the comics, like Comics Explained. Big companies like New Rockstars and Nerdist all existed, but these in-depth leaks and let's ruin the storyline channels didn't really exist. Not until the very end, after Infinity War and Endgame and all of these movies came to an end, when these channels rose on the hype of that. Now there are several pushing almost 1 million subscribers, all dedicated to leaks and scoops and insiders talking about what's coming up next. Marvel knows things have changed. Marvel knows they can't skirt under the excitement alone, but that they also have to dodge everybody wanting to know what's next and everybody being excited about the next big bad and the next big thing, the next big team-up movie. Yeah, sorry, She-Hulk's not good enough because there's only 2 Avengers in it. We need 15 Avengers, or the movie's not good. So they have to find a way to develop new stories in secret, and they're going to have to be even more under lock and key than ever before, so that these big things like what I'm referring to here about the big X-Men secret don't get out. Now, we're already talking about Phase 7 and Phase 6, and Phase 5 hasn't even technically begun yet, and that's just the environment for Marvel right now. So hopefully whatever this is that they have in store, as a fan, I hope kind of remains a bit of a secret, so that when it does come out to us, whether it is in Phase 6 or not until the end of Secret Invasion and we get into Phase 7 and there's some type of something happening in the background, it does hit us like a massive wave that we didn't see coming, and that we can have all of the excitement that will come with this big secret. But something's going on. The amount of Easter eggs and references and little pokes and little names and words and things they've thrown around without ever actually defining what's coming, I think I'm really excited for that. And yeah, they're doing big flashy SDCC and D23 and oh, look at all of this stuff happening over here, but something's happening up on the other side that they're not pointing to, and I can't wait to find out. But let me know what you think. One, what do you think it could be? I'd love to hear your guys' theories. This is an awesome community with a lot of people who know a lot about Marvel. So let me know what you think Kevin Feige and the team might be up to with the X-Men, with the Fantastic Four. How do you think they'll introduce them? And do you think that there's something big for Phase 7, for the third saga, maybe the Mutant Saga, in the MCU? Thank you guys so much for watching to the very end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, or entertaining, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our other videos. Also, to help out the channel, be sure to hit that like button. And I'll catch you guys all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.